football. I don't know if you're a Manchester United fan, take that as you will, or if you're a Yankees fan, take that as you will. So they brought them into the North Yankees. Okay, sorry, by the way. Okay, I thought you made a mistake in 4.5 years. Oh, all right, you're getting your essays back the week after spring break. Okay, so study one. They brought all these Manchester United fans into the lab, and then they gave them a questionnaire regarding how much and in what ways they liked Manchester United, which is a pretty silly questionnaire. But the thing they're trying to do is trigger their sense of group identification. So they have a survey where they're supposed to say, how much do you really love your favorite football team, and you have to write down the name of your football team, and then also answer on this degree of agreement scale, how much you like them. And so basically, they're repeatedly, as they answer the survey, indicating how much they like their team and writing the name of the team over and over and over again. So like 50 questions. They keep writing Manchester United. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay, so then they're asked to go to another building on campus to complete the second part of the study, and this is really when the experiment starts. What happened then was on the way they had a Confederate run by, go jogging by, just a normal person acting like an undergraduate student, and seem to sprain their ankle and then trip and fall. That would be a fun job, right? To repeatedly seem to sprain your ankle and trip and fall for independent study credit. Okay, and they had 3 research assistants hiding essentially in the bushes, observing what would happen. Okay, so the subjects are like headed to another room, they see somebody trip and fall when they're jogging, and then there's 3 people hiding, studying what they'll do. So what happens? Well, that's, we haven't got the manipulation yet. The person who was jogging by, the Confederate, the experimental manipulation was what were they wearing? What were they wearing? They were either wearing a Manchester United t-shirt, or a plain t-shirt, or a Liverpool t-shirt. Okay. Now, if you were British, I guess you would immediately understand that Liverpool is the big rival team of Manchester United. Do you all know this already? I didn't know this. I didn't know this about the Liverpudlians, but I did know they were Liverpudlians. Because what famous rock and roll band is from Liverpool? The Beatles, exactly. They're Liverpudlians. But anyway, Manchester United, so the person that goes jogging by, the Confederate, who works for a living pretending to sprain their ankle, is either wearing a Manchester United t-shirt, a plain t-shirt, or a Liverpool t-shirt, and they're interested in helping rates. They have these 3 coders in the bushes saying, okay, is the subject going to help the person who sprains their ankle? And they coded the rate at which the person actually helped the Confederate. And so when they're wearing a Manchester United t-shirt, they were very generous, polite, nice people. They would rush over and help the person. 12 out of 13 subjects who saw a Manchester United person sprain their ankle helped them with their sprained ankle. However, if they were wearing a plain t-shirt, only 4 out of 12 helped them, which is absurd. And then, if anything, even worse, if it was a Liverpool t-shirt, only 3 out of 10 helped them. So, this one's not so, well, okay, all of this is surprising to me. I would think that I would help somebody that sprained their ankle, or not, regardless of what t-shirt they were wearing. But apparently, if they're wearing your favorite team's t-shirt and you just finished filling out the survey extensively activating your degree of identification with the team, then you're incredibly benevolent and polite and kind to the person that shares your fan identification, and you're really mean to the rival team. But then this poor guy in the plain t-shirt who didn't do anything, maybe doesn't even like football, just gets it just because he doesn't like football enough, I guess. Okay, so then study 2 is the same study, redone in a slightly different way. So now the difference is they're given a questionnaire regarding how much and in what ways they like football, just the sport of football. Not Manchester United, now they're just having their identity as a football fan activated. And they do the same t-shirt manipulation. Somebody runs by and sprains their ankle wearing a Manchester United t-shirt, a plain t-shirt, or a Liverpool t-shirt. And the helping rates now are, again, they're always help the Manchester United person because they're, a better person. And the plain t-shirt, they don't help. And now the Liverpool t-shirt, they do help. So, when they're acting, I'm a football fan, they'll help the Manchester United fan, they'll help the Liverpool fan. But again, this guy that doesn't like football for no reason, who made the mistake of only having plain t-shirts clean that morning, doesn't get helped. So the idea that they're trying to illustrate here, and it's really like an elegant demonstration, is that different levels of identity can be activated in different circumstances. If we were to have you answer a bunch of surveys about how much you like Manchester United, then you'll help the Manchester United people, you won't help anybody else. Instead, if we activate your identity as a football fan, you'll help any football fan, even these Liverpudlians who you usually hate, and you won't help the person in the plain t-shirt. Question? Yeah. Right. Or you got it. Okay. All right. So let's take a 2-minute break, and then we'll finish the lecture. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, all right. If I get your attention, we'll knock out this last study in illustrating social identity theory, and then give your papers or your exams back. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do one last study that illustrates the social identity theory, and then we'll pass back your exams outside, and we won't have time to do a quiz today. So I know I'm so disappointed. I know I'm so sorry. Okay. So the Robbers Cave experiment. The Robbers Cave experiment is the last experiment we'll talk about today, and it was conducted. If I get your attention, please. Okay, it was conducted by Muzaffer and Carolyn Sharif in 1954, also known as the dynamic duo. By the way, some last year people actually put that on the test. I'm joking. They're not really the dynamic duo. No one really calls them that. Although, if you remember, there's something distinctive about Muzaffer Sharif and the way that he dresses. And what is that? He wore a freaking cape. How weird is that? How weird is that? Okay, so this was a field experiment that was conducted in Robbers Cave National Park in the 50s. And what it involved was 22 white middle-class boys. And a lot of this kind of reeks of sort of Lord of the Flies. This is kind of a Lord of the Flies kind of study. So they took 22 white middle-class boys from the Midwest who were age 12, and they wanted to test the following hypotheses. That this is like literally their words, the dynamic duo speak now. When individuals having no established relationships are brought together to interact in group activities with common goals, they produce a group structure with hierarchical statuses and roles within it. Okay. If two in-groups thus formed are brought into a functional relationship under conditions of competition and group restoration, attitudes and appropriate hostile actions in relation to the outgroup and its members will rise and will be standardized and shared in varying degrees by group members. This is a fancy way to say if you create even a minimal basis of group difference, groups will come to hate one another. They'll also come to form organizations within their groups. They're pretty organized and group-like. And that's basically the big idea. Is even minimal differences will create strong differences between groups. So it's a minimal group experiment only in a natural setting with 12-year-old boys in, I think, Oklahoma. Okay, is that right? Is that wrong? Okay, I think Robbers Cave National Park's in Oklahoma. Wherever it is, this is it. This is it. Looks nice, right? Looks good. Yeah, it seems that way until they separate you into groups. Okay. So at stage one, they randomly assign people to two groups, and they're totally isolated from one another for 5 days, which is an interesting thing. So they take 11 boys and put them in one group, 11 boys put them in the other, and they don't let them even see each other for 5 days, which is not easy. They're always doing all these outdoor excursions. They're going to keep them separate from each other, keep them totally isolated. And what they had is they had them work on cooperative joint tasks, like, I don't know, whatever little boys in the 50s do at summer camp, like making, like whittling and like swimming and stuff like that. Do y'all know about whittling? Yeah, that's when you take like a knife and you have wood and you whittle. I don't know. I didn't mean, yeah. So it is cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. And they're encouraged to identify as a group. So they're trying to make these two groups of boys into real groups. And each group decided to name themselves. And they named themselves the Rattlers and the Eagles, which is very sweet, Okay. So stage two, they created a competition. These boys hardly even knew that there was another group of boys. They never even saw them, nothing like that. So they tried to create competition. They competed first for a trophy and medals and pocket knives. So they ran a series of competitions where the groups had to compete with each other to get some mutually exclusive prize that only one group could get. It was either in the first one a trophy, in another competition it was some medals, and another it was to get pocket knives. And little boys in the 1950s, I don't know if you ever read a Hardy Boys book, there's nothing little boys in the 1950s like better than pocket knives. So so they've had these competitions, and they bring them, well, no, it's on the way to doing these competitions, they bring them together after the first competition at a dinner. So they're at dinner, these two groups, they're brought together, they've never really been in each other's presence, they've just done one competition against one another. What's going to happen? They did not like each other. These groups hated each other. They've been isolated, and then they had one competition. They called each other names. They engaged in razzing, which is 50s speak for calling each other names. And they spontaneously created and sang derogatory songs about one another, which is hilarious. And some of the Eagles didn't want to eat with the Rattlers. They said, I have lost my appetite. I don't like eating around these Rattlers. I don't like these boys. And then they burned each other's flags. They each had flags. They raided each other's cabins, stole the flags, burned them. They really hated one another. Really hated one another. So the researchers, I don't know why they did this. It's totally unnecessary. The researchers arranged for the Eagles to win one of the competitions. And in repudiation, the Rattlers stole their medals and pocket knives, which was just what they deserved, these Eagles. And then there was more name calling. They called one another stinkers, braggers, and sissies. Classic. I'm having horrible flashbacks in preschool right now. I know. Stinkers especially. I always get that one. I don't know why. I never figured it out. And the fighting, it almost got physical between these 12-year-old white boys from Oklahoma. They were almost physical. When they walked past each other in public spaces, they would hold their noses, and be like, you know how those Eagles smell. They're such stinkers. And they refused to eat with one another because of the smell or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so they just hated one another. Just group isolation, a little bit of competition, and they decided that the other group was just evil. So then, in stage three, they tried to integrate the two groups. They were interested in, can you just bring the groups together into the same environment, and that'll fix everything, And you can imagine some other, efforts to do this in the 50s. So just put them in the same place, everything will be better. Okay, so for 6 or 7 days, they did the integration phase, and they had several opportunities to reduce tension. So they did a bean collecting contest, obviously. I don't even know what that means. A bean collecting contest. What could that possibly mean? Okay, but they did it. They also showed a film. I tried to find out what film it is. I can't find out what film it is. Knowing me, I would, of course, try to figure out what film it is. They got to shoot firecrackers off on July the 4th, all this stuff, where they got to be in each other's presence and do these things, next to one another, together, technically. And they're thinking maybe this will help, and no effect. Several of these events ended in vicious food fights. And it did not undermine the animosity between the Eagles and the Rattlers at all. Vicious food fights. So then they were like, okay, this is not working. We isolated them, we made them compete, they decided they hated one another, and then we tried to just put them in the same environment doing stuff together, and that really didn't work. They still hate one another. So then they tried to create some scenarios with superordinate, overarching goals. So you remember one of the ways you can create a superordinate identity that brings groups together that had previously been at tension is to have them work on a common task together, right? So if they can work on some common goal, then these non-trivial problems, solve non-trivial problems, then they'll come to like each other. So that's what the Sharifs tried to test, was this idea. And this is the first big demonstration of this idea. So they had some non-trivial problems that would happen at the summer camp, which could not be solved by any one group. It would require, if these problems were to be solved, the two groups to work together. So what were these? First, the water problem. The researchers intentionally blocked a critical water faucet at this cabin camp place. I don't know if you're one of these lodges or whatever. I never did. My parents didn't send me to this. But apparently they're very nice, and the water's always going on. So the researchers intentionally blocked this critical water faucet, and they blamed this on the vandals. So the vandals came in the middle of the night. You can imagine these kids being woken up, right? And being like, oh my God, the vandals have come and shut off the water. They blocked a critical water faucet. We have no water. And no one group can solve this problem. You will all have to work together to restore water and undo what the vandals have done. Ridiculous. The boys were like, okay, we're ready, And so the boys cooperated together, and they fixed the water faucet problem. And then after that, briefly after that, at lunch, when they went to go get the water, after getting the water going again, the Rattlers let the Eagles go first. They were like, you guys go first, because you don't have enough Pantenes, and so you need more water. So now I don't really get this, but anyways, this emergent nice thing the Rattlers did. They're like, you guys need some water, you go first and get some water. So that's, get a little bit better. They don't like each other that much, but it's getting better. Second, they have to go get a movie together, and obviously 11 boys alone can't get the movie. So I don't really understand the deal. The researchers suggested they watched Treasure Island or Kidnapped, but they said, this is why it takes more than 11 more. They said it would cost $15 to get the movie. I mean, it's gonna be a great movie. Treasure Island, Kidnapped, it's gonna be a lot of fun, but we need $15. Okay. And the groups were like, okay, neither of us has $15, but together we'll split it evenly. We'll split it evenly, even Steven. And so they cooperated to get the film, and this was despite the fact that the Eagles were depleted in numbers because a couple of them had to leave because they were homesick. I know, right? It's like the sweetest study in the history of social psychology. So there were other joint tasks. They had to use rope on a partly cut through dangerous tree. They're like, oh, this tree has been partly cut through probably by the Vandals. We'll need to use rope to pull it down or else someone will be injured. And the boys are like, we can do this, you know. And they worked together. And there was a truck that was stuck in a rut that was carrying food for both groups. I mean, how would you not see through that one, right? But they didn't, and they worked together. And the results were the group relations were incredibly improved. They started to eat together. They started to sit together at dinner. This is getting beautiful. They decided they wanted to return to Oklahoma City on one bus, and they cheered when the staff okayed this and gave them permission. There was mixed eating on the bus, and at a rest stop, the Rattlers decided to spend the $5 they'd won the bean toss contest on malted ice cream shakes for everybody. Oh yeah, that's it. We'll be handing back the assignments outside.